Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Susan, and we're going to have a nice little hatha yoga class. I'm going to do it in two parts today, so altogether we'll have about an hour. So the first part will be approximately 30 minutes. It'll be all stretching, sitting close to the floor, ending in child's pose, and then part two will start in mountain and get into a nice, lovely vinyasa. All right, so comfortable on your sit bones. Back is nice and straight. Shoulders are relaxed. All right. So of course the breathing is in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice, long, full, smooth breath. So just relax, slow it down. All right. Listen to your body. Pay attention to how you feel. If there's anything we do that's going to cause you pain, or if it's a little uncomfortable, if you're not quite that flexible, just take it easy. All right. You can skip it. You can not even do it if you don't want to. I'll give you a couple of different options as we go along. All right, so like I said earlier, comfortable on your sit bones. Back is nice and straight. Shoulders are relaxed. So we always start our class with a couple of minutes of pranayama, of just breathing. All right, so today we choose a different mudra every class. Today we're going to sit in Bhairavi mudra. So I want you to place your hands one on top of the other, just nice and flat, and the mounds of your thumbs together. Now, Bhairavi mudra for the female, left hand on top of the right, and Bhairava for the male yogis, right hand on top of the left. The right side of the body is the male side, the left side is the female. So just resting your forearms comfortably on your leg, on your thigh, I should say. Back is straight. So this Bhairavi or Bhairava mudra means powerful and very intense. So I want you just to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you're releasing all that doesn't serve you anymore through your navel and coming out your hands. Breathe. Continue on your own personal pranayama for the next 2 minutes. Just relax. Now's the time to drop your day and settle your mind, and to set an intention for your practice today. Focus on any situation in your life that needs guidance from your higher self. It's time to lower the heart rate, lower your blood pressure, and lower your anxiety level. Try to find stillness in mind and body. Slowly bring yourself out of your pranayama. Let's bring our hands together now, and let's rub and vigorously activate our hand chakra. Hands onto your heart center, close your eyes. Let's take a nice long smooth breath together to tune out. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo Gurudev Namo Gurudev. One more nice long smooth breath together. Inhale. And on the exhale, let's drop 3 fingers. Keep the index fingers together, preparing for Jupiter Mudra. So I just want to stop for a second with the breathing. I'm going to try and cue you on the breath. So we always move on the exhale. So when I say on your next exhale or the next exhale, that's when I'd like you to try and move. You can't necessarily follow my breathing because I have to talk. So let's take a breath together. And on the exhale, let's come up nice and tall. Sitting tall in those sit bones, let's wake up that physical body. Let's wake up that spine reach. If this bothers your shoulders, you can bring your arms down a little lower if you'd like. There's always room in everything we do to make little adjustments that suit you to where you are in your practice and how your body feels and how your body moves. So this is waking up the spine, waking up the physical body, sitting nice and tall on your sit bones. Let's take one more breath. On the exhale, hands together, slowly bring them down shoulder height. Lace the fingers together, palms out. Now with a straight spine, on the exhale, I want you to reach. And let's really start releasing. Lower the shoulders, relax those shoulders. And let's release the upper back, the shoulders, the shoulder blade. And just go as far as you can. Even if you barely move, it doesn't matter. You're where you need to be, but keep the breath going. One more. And on the exhale, slowly release the hands very gently. Bring them to the back. Grab your fingers. Just grab your fingertips. With a straight spine, take a breath. And on the exhale, bring the shoulders up, bring the back, slide them down, bring those shoulder blades together. Breathe. So this is going to release the chest, start opening up the pectorals, releasing the front of the deltoid, front of the shoulder, opening up the ribs, lots of room to breathe, opening up your heart center. One more breath. On the exhale, slowly release the hands. Bring your hands onto the lap, and I want you to roll the shoulders up. And if you're a little tight, just roll them out a little bit, forward and backwards. And as we get on in the program and into our class, I want you every so often to roll the shoulders out. And you're going to find they're going to get looser and looser as your body loosens up and as you get on, starting to relax. And this is a nice, easy way to release the tension in the shoulders and the neck, and also really increasing circulation in the upper body. All right, let's go. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale into a gentle back bend, or just reach up to the ceiling if that's where you need to be. Breathe. Lengthening the body. Let's take another breath. On the exhale, bring the arms down, slow and gentle. They're always moving your body very slowly, gently, and very carefully. It's not a race. Take a breath. And on the exhale, I want you just to lean forward, either just bend the elbows, or for those of you who are a little more flexible, you can reach out as far as you'd like. Focusing more on leaning forward as opposed to reaching, depending on how you feel. Now, if you want to bow your head a little for comfort, that's fine. Just don't bow it too far that you actually curl your upper spine. All right, make those little adjustments. So this particular stretch here is going to start lengthening the spine, starting to release the shoulders, the muscles up and down your back. Take one more breath. On the exhale, stay low, and let's shift our body weight. Slide your hands to the left. The weight's in the left thigh, right hip stays on the floor. And again, reach, go as far as comfortable, and get that lovely stretch onto the right side of the body. You can feel it all the way up the arm, the shoulder, all the way down right into the hip. Now, I don't want you to be aggressive in your stretches. You don't have to force your body. Even if you end up and you're just here and that's as far as you can go, that's just fine. Everybody's at a different place. Not everybody's going to look the same. On the next exhale, stay low. It's gentle with your spine, and let's go to the other side. Weights on the right thigh, left hip on the floor. And again, here, go as far as comfortable. And really wake up the left side of the body. You can feel that beautiful stretch. Your body's starting to unwind, to untangle, uncoil. Relax the shoulders. Breathe. Close your eyes. Stay in tune with the breath. Keep that breath in mind. Don't hold your breath, and don't forget to breathe. And while we're here, I want you to let's recognize and release the tension we hold in our face. So I want you just to really scrunch it up. Engage your face. Scrunch it up as tight as you can and hold it. And then let it go. Let all that tension filter through your body and sink into the mat. And let's just let your whole face go slack. On the exhale, stay low. Come back to center and come up all the way. All right. Roll the shoulders a little more if you need to. Okay, perfect. All right, so left hand on the floor beside the left knee. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do this particular stretch. The first, the deepest one is elbow on the floor. What we're going to be doing is lifting the arm up, all right? Now, if you find that's literally too much of a stretch and your right hip comes off the floor, which is not what I don't want to happen, this is where our little helper block comes in. You can set the block up. If you can't get to the floor, you bring the floor up to you. You bring the elbow onto the floor. And if you don't have a block or anything like that, don't worry about it. Just put your hand a little further, bend the elbow, and you can do the same stretch. All right? So, whatever you got handy, let's go. Right hand on the right knee, left hand on the floor or on the block or out here. Let's go. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale. Now, if you're on the elbow and shoulder lined up of the left arm, right arm is lined up to the shoulder to the side of the body. So try not to be leaning forward or tilted back as best as you can. Now, those of you who want to go a little further, absolutely. Spread those fingers like rays of sunshine. And this stretch too you can do with your hand on your hip. If that's easier for you, put your hand on your hip. You're still going to lengthen the side of the body. One more breath. On the exhale, right hand onto the right knee. Stay in this position with the left elbow. On the exhale, I want you to push away the right knee, bring the right shoulder a little closer to the left knee. This is for the upper back, the shoulder. You feel it all the way down. Now you can soften the elbow or keep it straight. Just find that place that feels just right. Stay there. Breathe. One more. On the exhale, bend the elbows. Stay low. Come up. All right, let's go to the other side. Left hand to left knee. Roll the shoulders up in between if you need to. Take your block if you're using it. Comfortable on your sit bones. Let's go. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale over. Now if you find that your left hip comes off the floor, then you're way too far. Then reposition your arms, okay? Even if you end up putting your hand here. I really want you to be anchored to the floor, so there should be no movement with your lower body. All right, and just relax. Follow the breath, relax those shoulders, close your eyes, let's go. On the next exhale, left hand to left knee. And on the exhale, push away. Really feeling that beautiful stretch from the shoulder all the way down the side of the body. One more breath. On the exhale, stay low, come to center all the way up. All right, so far so good. All right, let's start loosening up those legs a little bit. Let's get into our little butterfly, or this is also called the bound angle pose. So, sitting nice and tall always. Now, make sure there's room between the heels and the groin area. This particular position here is starting to release and stretch the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, groin area, releasing the tight glutes, the tight buttocks, and also a gentle hip opener. Two different ways to do this one here. If you find this is as far as you can go, just rest your hands on your legs like this. Keep your back straight and just relax and just keep breathing. But if you want to go a little deeper, hands onto the ankles, elbows onto the knees, and you can lean forward. Either way you do it, make sure your back is straight, your head is level with your spine, and you're hinging with the hips. All right, let's do it together. Take your breath. Exhale. Now, if you're leaning forward, don't put a lot of pressure on the knees. Focus more on leaning as opposed to pressing on the knees. Try to relax your knees and your thighs and your hips. Just let it go. Make the adjustments. If you find it's a little too intense, then just back up a little bit. Or at the opposite, if you need more, you can go as far as you like. Breathe. Paying attention to the sensations of the breath. Bring yourself right here, right now, right in the moment, where nothing matters but how you feel right now. Position your bodies in, how your body feels, and that breath. Exhale, come up. All right. So now I want you to put your hands on your ankles, and we're just going to flutter our little butterfly wings. So this is another gentle hip opener, all right? So you don't have to have a lot of movement. This is just kind of releasing all the tension around the hips, lubricating that nice ball and socket. If your hips are nice and loose and you want to flutter your wings a little more, absolutely. But it's not necessary. It's just a small movement is all that's really necessary. And let's do one more breath. And hands on the knees, bring them together slowly, and let's open up into a nice wide V. Okay, now, this particular one here is going to be working the hamstring. So we're going to work on the back of the leg. This is going to stretch out the knee and the calves, having the toes up to the ceiling, all right? So what we're going to do is put your hands right in front. So again here, back stays straight, neck is level with your spine, and you're hinging with the hips. So I don't want you to be all hunched and rolled over. Try to keep your back as straight as you can, however your body is set up. So all we're going to do here is either you can just bend your elbows and lean forward, or if you want, you can crawl your fingers and go as far as you'd like. All right, so it doesn't matter. Even just sitting like this, you should feel this. This would be called a dynamic stretch or isotonic stretch. All right, so you can feel the activity in your body. Now let's release those tight muscles together. Big breath. Exhale. Now while you're in this position, however you set yourself up, I want you to pay attention to your knees and your quads. If they're tight, they probably are. Try to let them go. Relax them. Doesn't necessarily mean that you'll go further. It might help, but I want you to be aware of the tension in your body, being able to isolate it and release it, even while you're doing something else. The breath is there to guide you. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale, come up. All the way. Perfect. And let's do that exact same stretch. Now, here we're going to do it with the hands onto the knees or the thighs. The same idea. Your back stays straight. You're just going to lean forward. You can keep your hands here if you want. You can slide them down. And those of you who can reach your toes, you can grab your toes. All right? Same idea. We're going to try to be aware of your knees and your quads. Big breath. Exhale. Those of you who can reach your toes, if you want an extra stretch in your upper back, you can point your toes. One more breath. Exhale, come up. Slow and gentle. All right, perfect. Now, we're going to do our nice little twist pose. So I want you to straighten the left leg. I'm going to give you two different ways to do this one here. Now, if you can, I'd like you to put the right foot on the outside of the left knee. So, I'm going to give you two ways to do this one here. If you want, okay, so left hand is on the right knee, right hand behind the back. This would be one way, a gentle twist pose looking over the shoulder. Those of you who want to go a little further and get into your shoelace pose, roll on the left hip, bend the left knee in, and this would be called the shoelace position. It's a nice stretch for the hips and the thighs, but we're focusing on the twist pose on the spine for this one here. So if you find this is going to be a little too much for you, go back to what we were doing earlier with the legs straight and the foot on the outside. Ultimately, left hand is on the right knee, right hand behind the back. Let's try our twist pose from the shoelace position. Big breath. Exhale. Look over the right shoulder. Now don't torque your back or your neck. Move very slowly and gently with your spine. If you want to go deeper, you can do it on the exhale. Push on the knee a little to the left. If you find that it's a little too intense, just back up. Come out of it if you need to. Breathe. Spinal twist, releasing the spine, keeping it nice and flexible, strong and supple, releasing the nerves, the blood vessels, and the muscles up and down your back and your spine. One more breath. Exhale. Come to center. All right, let's untangle those legs. Let's see if we can do the other side. Now, same thing. You can do it from here. Just relax. Put the right hand on the left knee and look over the shoulder. What if you want to go a little deeper? Roll on the hip, bend the knee in. Now in the shoelace pose, you can do it loose. Those of you who want to go a little tighter, you can choke up on the legs. You can find the place that feels just right for you. Make those little adjustments so that you can relax and focus on the position that we're in or going into. Right hand on left knee again, left hand behind the back, preparing for our twist pose. Take your breath. Exhale. Relax the shoulders, your back is straight, the breath is flowing. Even in the twist pose, the breath is the same. Always paying attention to the breath. Feel that breath. One more. And on the exhale, slowly come back, center. All right, let's untangle those legs. All right, so let's do a nice little stretch before we go any further. And this particular one is called a caterpillar. All right, so sitting nice and tall on your sit bones, all right? You can point your toes or have your toes pointing to the ceiling. It doesn't matter, all right? Hands are on the lap. So this is just a nice stretch. It's to release the shoulders. It's for the spine, all right, and all the muscles in your back. This one here, I want you to round your back. So let me go a little bit here and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to give you two ways to do this one here. Either you can just put your forearms if you can and just bow your head around. That's it, just like that. And those of you who are a little bit more flexible, you can come down a little further. And that's it. Just a gentle stretch, all right? You're going to feel it's a little bonus stretch for the hamstrings as well. Forearms, hands on the lap. Big breath. Exhale. Just round your back. Just bow your head a little. Try to relax your knees and your thighs. This is our little caterpillar. One more breath. Exhale, come up. Slow. All right, roll the shoulders out. Now roll them out a little bit more. Forward and backwards. See how they feel. Maybe they're a little looser at this point, which is a good thing, right? And if not, we'll work on that. All right, so from the this position here, this is called our staff pose. This is a neutral resting place to come to, all right? Anytime during we're doing anything on the floor, if you just want to stop and chill out for whatever reason, or if you want to skip a different stretch or move, that's fine. Come here if you want, just relax and keep your breath going. Now, here again, being aware of your posture, sitting tall on your sit bones, back is straight, shoulders are relaxed. I want you to point your toes. Perfect. And I want you to bring the left hand out, actually both hands, open the fingers, bend at the wrist, and slightly turn out to the baby finger. Bring the arms down a little lower so we focus on the forearm, not so much the shoulder anymore. So let's get a nice stretch on the extensor muscles on the forearm, the wrist, the hand, and the fingers. Take a breath. Exhale, straighten hand, palms to ceiling. Right fingers on the tip of the left fingers, gently bring it back. Releasing the flexor muscles, wrist and the hand. So lengthening the muscles, decompressing them, uncoiling the tight muscles, releasing the discomfort of tight muscle or tight nerves and blood vessels as well. Now, let's release this side here. Always very gentle, careful, and slowly. Exhale, release. Now, straighten the feet. Roll the shoulders out. All right? So we're going to work the fingers now. So from here, I want you just to put your hands on your lap. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go this way so you can see me. We're just going to do little circles. So you're going to lift your hands, your fingers up in little circles. Keep your hands on your lap. And then once you get your little finger, do the opposite direction to get back to your thumb. Follow the rhythm of your breath. And let's get a little articulation. Let's move those fingers a bit. So sitting nice and tall, let's go. Start with a thumb. Inhale up, exhale down. Keep that breath going. Pay attention to how that breath feels. It's long, it's smooth, and it's complete. Always make sure that you can suspend your breath. Just hold it for a few seconds between the inhale and the exhale. Keeping the breath nice and constant and controlled. So just really releasing the stiffness. Even if you have arthritis, a lot of people have issues with their fingers, so it's so important that we try to move them a little bit, all right? If not a lot. Now, once you get back to your thumb, I want you to bring your hands up, and I just want you to stretch your fingers out. Just stretch them out. Get a deep stretch into the palm of the hand, and then I want you just to let your fingers go limp, let your wrists go limp, and I want you to shake them out. Shake those hands out. Release the tension in the hands and fingers. Perfect. Okay, hands on the lap, roll the shoulders a little more if you'd like. All right, let's work our way down to the lower leg and to the ankles and the feet. So from here, you can open up your legs a little bit. We're going to do a plantar flexion. So we're going to push the foot forward and we're going to bring it all the way back. Keep your heels and your feet and your legs on the floor, all right? So this is going to engage the lower leg muscles, but we're focusing on the ankle, the foot, and the toes. All right, so now with your hands, you can have your hands along your hips with a straight spine, or if you want, you can lean back, relax, and keep your back straight as well. Ready? Let's go. Inhale, push it forward. Exhale back. Back. This action is called plantar flexion, pushing forward and bringing it back. So really lengthening the top of the foot, really working those muscles in the foot, the ankle. And when you finish your last little movement, relax. Relax your thighs and your knees. All right, so now let's play piano. Let's work those toes. We're going to play piano with the toes, and I want you to add the fingers. We're going to round the ankles and the wrists. You can go a little faster if you'd like, or you can keep it slow, but keep your breath nice and slow. So let's really wiggle things around. Really articulate those toes. Wiggle them around. All right, perfect. From here, let's get into our table. So onto the hands and knees. All right, I always provide little padding for my students. If makes a little helps a little with your knees or your wrists if you need to. You can use a thin towel or a little blanket if you like. Into our table, checking your alignment. Ankle to knee to hip. Knees are hip distance apart. Elbow, shoulders, wrists lined up. Head is level with your spine. Let's do some cat and cow. Inhale, head up, sacrum up, C-scoop spine. Exhale as you arch the back, chin to chest, belly, butt to spine. Try to relax your quads. If they're tight, let them go. All the way up. Cat and cow, breath and motion, meditation motion. Really lengthening the spine, releasing upper back. This is a really nice stretch for your lower back. And one more, all the way up, follow the breath, inhaling up. And perfect. Now, from here, bring yourself to straight neutral spine. We're going to do a nice little stretch. This is called a heart opener. All right, so this one here is going to work on the strength, upper body strength, but also a nice stretch for the pectorals and the shoulder. So, stabilizing the left arm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be reaching up. I'm going to look up to the ceiling. All right, so right arm. Ready? Let's go. Inhale up. If you can't get to the ceiling, even if you just go a little bit sideways, it doesn't matter. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale. You can feel your core muscles engaging as well. Let's try the other side. Big breath. Exhale up. One more breath. Exhale down. All right. That's a nice stretch. Preparing for child's pose, let's take a little rest. Open up your knees a little wider if you need to. Take a breath. On the exhale, scooch back. Now, child's pose is a resting neutral place. Make sure your head and your neck are supported. You can rest your forehead on your stacked fists. If you have a block, rest your forehead on your block or on your stacked hands or on the floor. Make sure your head and your neck are always supported. Child's pose, Balasana. Now let's take a rest. This is a resting, neutral, full body stretch. Now's the time to thank yourself for being here today, for taking a little time to be on your mat, just to stretch for whatever reason brings you onto your mat. Maybe to re-energize, maybe to decompress, maybe just to step away from the busyness of the outside world. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. It's part of your self-care and your self-soothing. Maybe just to sit down and breathe for a while. No thoughts, no cares, no worries. So resting in child's pose, this is the end of part 1. If you want to stay tuned for part 2 in the next few minutes, and we're going to get into a nice little vinyasa, a nice little sequence now that we're nice and warmed up. If you prefer just to end it here, that's fine. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon.